Plato makes a claim that should unsettle anyone who speaks in public. Your speech is not a performance you put on. It is an X-ray of your soul. A disordered speech reveals a disordered self. In the second half of the Phaedrus, Socrates turns from love to rhetoric, and shows that the two subjects were never separate at all. The dialogue contains 3 speeches on love, and they form a ladder. Lysias' speech is bronze, clever, cold, designed to seduce. Socrates' first speech is silver, better argued but still false to love's nature. His great second speech is gold. The 3 correspond to the soul's 3 parts from the chariot myth, the black horse of appetite, the white horse of spiritedness, and the rational charioteer who holds divine control over his emotions. From these examples, Socrates moves to the question underneath them all. What makes any speech good? Start with the danger. Lysias' speech aimed to seduce one young man for the speaker's pleasure. Now scale it up. The Sophists, professional rhetoricians like Lysias, do the same thing to the demos, the people of Athens. Because the city resembles the individual soul, a corrupt speech that seduces one person and a corrupt political speech that seizes a city are the same crime at different magnitudes. Both gratify the speaker at the listener's expense. Socrates stands as the opposite image, the true lover and the true politician. He persuades people for their own benefit. His speeches tell the truth to improve the individual and society as a whole. So what does good speech require? 2 kinds of knowledge. First, know your subject. You cannot speak truly about love or justice or war if you do not understand it. Second, know your audience. The speech must fit the particular soul being persuaded. A speech that moves Phaedrus might fail entirely on someone else. Ideally, rhetoric should approach dialectic. Here is a common misreading. Socrates does not condemn all rhetoric. Rhetoric is sometimes necessary. He used it himself to persuade Phaedrus about love's true nature. But even his rhetoric keeps the dialectical method. Divide things into their natural parts, then reassemble them into an orderly, harmonious whole. Now watch what Socrates has built across the whole dialogue. A chain of paired opposites, each pair mapping onto every other. The seducer is to the true lover, as the physical lover is to the mental lover, as the demagogue is to the gold politician, as the sophist is to the philosopher, the human to the divine, the temporal to the eternal, rhetoric to dialectic, writing to speech, Lysias' love to Socrates' love, the first speech to the third, the black horse to the white horse, probability to certainty, appearance to reality, opinion to knowledge, belief to truth, passion to reason, body to soul, 17 pairs, 1 structure. Every lesser term stands on the left, every greater term on the right, and each pair illuminates all the others. These dichotomies are not a list. They form a verbal counterpoint, a fully organized cosmos, each element set against its opposite to create a harmonious whole. And that structure mirrors something, the well-ordered soul itself. Plato's claim is that we are souls, not bodies, and we find our identity in the kind of speech we make. The character of a soul becomes visible in its words. Lysias' speech was disorderly, points in random sequence, no natural beginning or end, and that disorder revealed a disorderly soul, one-to-one correspondence. The reverse holds for Socrates, whose ordered speech holds many oppositions together at once and brings them into harmony. Think of Socrates as a conductor. Each opposite is an instrument, passion and reason, body and soul, probability and certainty. A lesser speaker can play one instrument at a time. Lysias cannot even keep his single melody in tune. Socrates holds all of them at once, gives each its entrance, and keeps every voice in counterpoint with its opposite. The result is not a compromise between the pairs, it is a composition, the lesser term audible, but governed, the way the charioteer governs the black horse. There is one more ingredient and it complicates the picture. Order alone is not enough. In the Republic, Plato says education needs both gymnastics and the muses, and here the muse of poetry takes control of Socrates himself. Earlier in the dialogue, lyric poetry was named a form of divine madness. Such work cannot come from cold logical calculation alone. Reason is necessary, but so is inspiration. Socrates ties prophecy to this madness through two Greek words, mantic, meaning prophetic, and manic, meaning insane, one letter apart. For the Greeks, divine inspiration stood a single step from madness, and Socrates presents himself as divinely inspired, breaking into rhythmic poetic speech, some of the finest Greek lyric Plato ever wrote. This explains why Socrates gave his great speech at all. His first speech was an act of impiety. By treating love falsely, it distorted his own soul and harmed Phaedrus, planting false ideas in him. His guiding spirit, his daimonion, warned him to correct it at once. The third speech is therefore a purgation, a ritual cleansing, a recantation that washes away the offense. Remember the one-to-one correspondence. A false speech does not just misinform the listener, it damages the speaker. If speech mirrors soul, then speaking falsely about the highest things deforms the self that speaks. Pull the threads together. Good speech requires truth about the subject and the knowledge of the soul receiving it. Corrupt rhetoric seduces one person or an entire city, the crime scales. True rhetoric approaches dialectic, divide by nature, reassemble in harmony, and the proof is the dialogue itself. 17 pairs of opposites held in counterpoint, forming an ordered cosmos in words. That cosmos is a portrait of the well-ordered soul, where reason conducts passion rather than silencing it, and where inspiration, one letter from madness, supplies what calculation never could. You are what you say. Speak accordingly.